Listen, because this is not just another start, it is a warning. Life is going by faster than you realize, faster than your eyes can keep up, faster than your heart is willing to admit. And there is a question that needs to be asked now. First of all, even before the next second, what are you doing with your strength while you still possess it? Youth deceives. Vigor seduces. The feeling that there is still time is the greatest illusion. Today, you wake up strong. Today, you walk steadfast. Today, you believe that tomorrow will be by your side. But tomorrow has never made any promise to you, and suddenly, without warning, life shows the truth. The body fails, the mind tires, the brightness of the eyes begins to diminish, and what you thought eternal begins to unravel. This is where reality strikes, because every human force has a deadline, all vitality has a limit, every youth has an end. And before that end comes, there is a voice, a single voice, that cuts through the silence of time like a sword. Remember your Creator in the days of your youth. It's not poetry, it's not pretty music, it's order, it's true, it's destiny. Remembering the Creator is not something for when life is peaceful. It's not something for when the body is too tired to fight. It is not something for the end of the journey. It's for now. It is for while the mind is alert. It is for as long as the heart still beats strongly. It is for as long as there is energy to obey and courage to change. Because the day will come when you will no longer have control over anything. Not about your voice, not about your decisions, not about your own breathing. Time will charge, the body will give in, and the spirit will return to God. The only question is, will you remember the Creator before that happens? This is where it all begins, at the point where life presses, where truth weighs down, where God calls, and where man must decide whether to awaken or continues walking towards dust without understanding the value of days. There are times in life when everything seems to go on normally, until suddenly a hidden truth reveals itself with enough force to break any illusion. And Ecclesiastes 12 is just that, a revelation that no one expects, but that everyone needs to hear. Because deep down you've already felt it, at some point in the silence at the end of a difficult day or in the face of something you couldn't control. You realize that you are not that strong, that life is short, that youth is no guarantee of anything. But Ecclesiastes 12 does not just show this brevity, he exposes it, he reveals, he opens the curtain and shows what is behind everything, the inevitable encounter between man and his Creator. Imagine that for a moment. I don't find him in trouble. Not the encounter with dreams, but the encounter with God himself, the one who formed you, the one who gave you breath, the one who knows your beginning, your middle, and your end. And before life takes you to that meeting, he calls you now. Not when I'm old, not when your strength is gone, not in the last breath. Now, while the mind is alert, while the body responds, while the heart still moves with will. Remember your Creator. These words are not about memory. They are about priority, about direction, about deciding who guides your steps before your steps no longer obey you. And as we move into this chapter, it becomes clear, God is not speaking to those who have already lost their strength, but with those who still have it. He's saying, use your youth for what really matters. Use your energy to seek me. Use your time to honor me. Because youth is not a prize, it's an opportunity, a rare chance, a short window, a gift that must be returned to God in the form of obedience, fear, and truth. And that's why this chapter isn't just a reflection, it's a summons. A call to wake up before life wakes you up in the worst way, to see before the eyes lose their light, to decide before time decides for you. There is a truth that few admit, but everyone feels. The human heart is easily distracted, much more than you think. And without realizing it, man begins to live as if he were the owner of his own time, as if life were his to use in the way he wants, as if tomorrow were guaranteed. This is where the conflict begins to be born. Because youth gives the impression that everything is far away. Old age seems like a rumor, death, a story of others. Judgment, something that only exists for those who live wrong. But Ecclesiastes 12 dismantles this with divine precision. Have you ever noticed how the world tries to convince you that what matters is to enjoy, conquer, accumulate, impress? How does it insist that you care more about image than soul? How does it push you into a fast, noisy, empty life and full of distractions that take you away from the Creator? And as he runs after all this, a silent, uncomfortable, almost suffocated question arises inside his chest. Where is this race taking you? The conflict intensifies here, because at the same time that you feel God's call, you also feel the weight of the world trying to pull you in the opposite direction, a direction where the soul distances itself from the Creator, where consciousness becomes weak, where sin ceases to seem dangerous and it starts to look normal. And the worst thing is that this change does not happen all at once. It happens gradually, step by step, a detour here, another there, until when you realize it, you are already too far from what really matters. Ecclesiastes 12 confronts you with this reality. You can lose your soul without realizing that you are losing it. And the chapter begins to show the consequences. The bad days coming, the vigor fading, the joy fading away, the body asking for what youth wasted, life demanding what was lived without God. And deep down, a restlessness grows. What if I'm living wrong? What if I am forgetting the Creator while I can still serve Him? And if time is slipping through my fingers and I'm not seeing? It is this inner conflict between divine calling and human distractions that shapes each person's destiny. This is where the spiritual battle really begins, in the struggle between remembering God or ignore Him while there is still vigor in the bones and breath in the chest. There is a moment in life when a person realizes that they are not just living, is choosing. And each choice has a price, every step has a direction, every distraction has an impact. And this is where the dilemma deepens relentlessly. Because on the one hand, there is the call of the Creator, clear, direct, urgent, and on the other, it is everything that tries to take you away from Him. Have you ever noticed how the world offers easy paths? Paths that seem pleasant, accessible, comfortable, but which in the end are empty. How does He teach you to value what has no eternal value? How does He transform vanity into priority and priority into illusion? The dilemma is not only external, He dwells within the heart, among what you want and what your soul really needs. Ecclesiastes 12 expounds this with the coldness of truth. Youth passes. The sparkle in the eyes fades, and in time, everything that seemed important turns out to be as fragile as dust in the wind. And then, that question arises that you try to ignore, but it comes back. It always comes back. Why do I run after what can't accompany me after death? Why fight for applause that doesn't save? Why pursue achievements that do not console the soul? Why live as if God were a detail when He is the author of our own existence? This is the tension that Ecclesiastes puts before you. Following the Creator requires renunciation, teaches fear, destroys pride, breaks the ego, but saves the soul. Meanwhile, forgetting the Creator is easy. It's comfortable. It's nice, but it destroys everything that really matters. The dilemma becomes even stronger when you realize that life doesn't ask you if you're ready to mature. It just forces you to do it. The body begins to tire. Dreams become shorter. The mind begins to worry about what was previously ignored. And in this process, something is revealed. You were not created to chase the wind. You weren't created to get lost in the midst of distractions. You were not created to forget God while life escapes. The soul knows that there is something greater. She knows that she needs the Creator. She knows that she was made for Him. And that's why the dilemma pokes, pressures, bothers you. Are you going to continue living as if the time were yours? Or will you remember the Creator while there is still time to choose? And it is from this growing tension that we move on to the next step, the moment when the conflict becomes unbearable and the truth approaches with the weight of eternity. There comes a time when the truth stops knocking on the door and it just breaks in, and this is that moment, because so far you have observed the conflict. You have felt the weight of the dilemma. You have perceived the tension between God and the world. But now comes the time when life pushes you against the wall. The time when you can no longer pretend that everything is fine. The time when silence reveals what noise has always tried to hide. The reality is harsh. You don't control time. You don't control the body. You don't control tomorrow. You never controlled it. And when this consciousness invades, it doesn't ask for permission. It rips off the masks. Suddenly, what you thought was firm begins to tremble. The security that seemed solid crumbles. The plans you held with pride start to get shaky. The vigor you relied on begins to fail. This is how the bad day comes, slow at first, then all at once. You feel that something is slipping through your fingers. Life does not respond as before. The doors that have always been open are now starting to close. The eyes that were shining begin to lose their light. And it is at this point that Ecclesiastes 12 becomes real. Real to the point of hurting. Real to the point of silencing the soul. Because what is being shown is not just aging. It is the result of living far from the Creator. It is the price that time takes when God is left aside. You realize that nothing you have accumulated can sustain the soul. He realizes that no pleasure can resist the passage of years. Realize that no achievement accompanies you when life begins to decline. And the question that weighs like a hot iron arises mercilessly. What's left when everything you've trusted in starts to crumble? Silence answers. And he responds too loudly. But the point of tension is not only in human frailty, it is in fear. The fear of realizing that maybe you have lived without putting God at the center. The fear of having wasted youth chasing the wind. The fear of having forgotten the Creator while still having the strength to obey. This is the moment when the soul feels the urgency for the first time. The moment when you look at life and realize that you are facing something that you cannot control, nor overcome, nor postpone. And before the despair becomes suffocating, something begins to move. A discreet light, a hope that has not yet been fully revealed, but that is coming. Because at the very point where man perceives himself to be weak, God begins to draw near. When everything seems to tighten, when the weight becomes unbearable, when time shows that there is nowhere to run, that's exactly when something starts to change. Not because of his strength, nor his intelligence, nor his ability to turn things around. Not at all. Change begins because God decides to draw near. And it's amazing how he does that. He doesn't come screaming. It doesn't come with a show. He arrives with truth. That truth that cuts the soul, but heals. That truth that confronts pride, but saves. That truth which exposes weakness, but offers refuge. And suddenly, after the tension, after the fear, after feeling life slipping through your hands, you notice a detail that changes everything. You were never in control. And this, far from being a reason for despair, becomes the beginning of hope. Because if you don't control, God controls. If you can't, God can do it. If you see no way out, God creates one. And this is where the call of Ecclesiastes 12 becomes even clearer. You should not remember the Creator just because youth passes. You must remember because He is the only one who can make sense of your days. The solution is not in trying to be stronger. It's not about running faster. It is not in fighting alone against time. The solution lies in turning to the Creator before time silences you. And when you understand that, something inside you realigns. The soul, which was restless, begins to recognize the voice that was calling from the beginning. The heart, which previously resisted, begins to give way. The consciousness, which tried to hide itself, finally surrenders to the light. And this is how God begins to work. He does not restore the body first, it restores the soul. He does not return physical strength first. It restores the awe, the reverence, the clarity of purpose. God's solution is not temporary relief, it is transformation. It is the beginning of the return. It is the true awakening. And as that light begins to grow, as hope rises in the midst of the weight, you realize that you are being led to the most decisive point, to the moment when everything actually changes. The point where God speaks with absolute authority and man must respond. And then the moment comes. That moment when everything that has been said so far converges into a single truth. A truth so powerful, so inescapable, so definitive that there is no way to pretend that you did not hear. Because Ecclesiastes 12 does not end with easy consolation. It doesn't end with empty promises. It ends with a decree that echoes through all eternity. Of all that has been heard, the sum is, fear God and keep His commandments. Pause. Let that sink in. Because this phrase is not poetry. It is not a suggestion. It is not an opinion. It is the essence. It is the line that separates wisdom from madness. It is the difference between spiritual life and death. Fear God. It doesn't. No wonder. He does not agree intellectually. He fears, because the fear of God is the beginning of everything that matters. It is the basis of all true wisdom. It is the foundation on which a purposeful life is built. And then comes the second part, equally decisive, keep His commandments. He does not choose which ones to obey. He does not deal with the word. He does not adapt the truth to fit His comfort. Guarda, obey. It continues, for he who fears God does not live for himself. He lives for God. And this is where the climax becomes even stronger, because Ecclesiastes reveals the reason for it all. For God will bring every work into judgment, and even every secret thing, whether good or bad. The judgment is real. Judgment will come. Nothing escapes. Nothing is hidden. No work is insignificant before God. You can pretend in front of men. You can hide it from the world. You can lie to yourself. But before God, everything is exposed, and that's where the truth weighs like nothing else does. You're not just living for today, you are living for judgment. Every action you take, every word you speak, every thought you cultivate, everything will be charged, not by an unjust judge, but by the Creator Himself, the one who sees beyond appearance, He who does not err in His judgment. And that is why the call is so urgent. Remember your Creator in the days of your youth, because when the day of judgment comes, there will be no more time to remember. There will be no more chance to change. There will be no more opportunity to obey. There is only now, just this moment, just the choice you make today. And that choice defines everything. Now, while that truth still echoes, it's time to bring all of this into your life, for your day, for your choices. Because Ecclesiastes 12 wasn't written for characters in an ancient story. It was written for you. Now, so let me ask you a simple question. What are you doing with your strength? Not tomorrow, not when I have more time, not when the circumstances are better. Now, as you breathe, while the heart beats, while the mind is alert. Because the truth that Ecclesiastes sets before you is this: life is not yours to live as you will. You are not the owner of time. You don't control tomorrow. You were created by God, to God, and one day you will be accountable to God. And this accountability is not about how much money you have accumulated. It's not about how many people have admired you. It's not about how many times you've won in the world. It's about a simple and devastating thing. Have you remembered your Creator? Did you fear Him? Have you kept His commandments? Because holiness is not optional. Obedience is not suggestion. Fear of God is not feeling. It is the basis of all life that matters. And while you still have strength, while youth still runs through your veins, while the mind still responds, there is a decision that needs to be made. Will you keep running after the wind, or will you turn to the Creator? Because this choice is not small. It defines everything. It defines where you walk. It defines what you value. It defines what you will leave behind when life ends. And the beauty of it, yes, there is beauty, is that you can still choose. You can still regret it. He can still come back. It can still align life with God's will. But this chance is not eternal. The clock is ticking, and each day that passes is one less day to live with purpose, with truth, with God at the center. So the final question is this: will you awaken now, or will you wait until it's too late? Because the answer you give, it will echo for eternity. But listen well to what comes now, because this is not just reflection, this is a call. Life with God is not something you do when you have time to spare. It is not a spiritual hobby. It is not Sunday religion. It's the only thing that matters. And the Messiah, Jesus Christ, did not come to offer a comfortable option. He came to save, to redeem, to completely transform the one who surrenders to Him. And this surrender begins now, not tomorrow, not when you feel ready, not when the circumstances are perfect, now. Because God's call does not negotiate with human time. He calls when He wants. He calls when He deems it necessary. And you now are being summoned. Salvation does not wait. Eternity does not negotiate. The judgment does not postpone. You need to understand one thing: without Jesus, without repentance, without submission to the Word of God, the life you are living is a life that ends in condemnation. It doesn't matter how much you achieve here. It doesn't matter how much you accumulate. It doesn't matter how much you are admired. Without the Messiah, all is vanity. Everything is dust. Everything is death. But with Him, with Jesus Christ, everything changes. The soul is saved. The spirit is redeemed. Life gains meaning. Death loses its power. And this transformation is not gradual. It is complete. It is not partial. It is total. It's not optional. It's essential. So while you are still breathing, while there is still time, while the Creator is still calling, return to God. Repent. Give your life to Jesus. Keep the commandments. Fear the Creator. Because the next breath is not guaranteed. The next day is not certain. And when life ends, what will you have left for eternity? That is the urgency. That's the weight. This is the call that cannot be ignored. And so we come to the end. Not to the end of the story, but at the end of the call, to the point where the truth becomes inescapable, because Ecclesiastes 12 is not about aging, it's not about death, it's about life. It's about how you choose to live while you're still alive. And the conclusion is simple but devastating. Remember your Creator in the days of your youth, before the body fails, before the eyes darken, before the doors close, before the spirit returns to God. Because when that time comes, and it will, there will be no more time to repent. There will be no more chance to change. There will be no more opportunity to obey. Just what you did, just what you chose, just what you left behind. And that is why the Creator calls now, not in anger, but with mercy, not to punish, but to save, not to destroy, but to redeem. Jesus Christ came for this, to offer a way out, to open a path, to give hope to those who feel lost. And that hope is available now, for you, right now. So, while life still pulsates in your veins, while the strength still exists, while time still runs, fear God. Keep His commandments. Remember your Creator. Give your life to Jesus, because life with purpose doesn't start tomorrow. It starts now, and the eternity you will live after, it depends on the choice you make today. May you choose well. May you choose God. May you choose life.